If it's a day called today, we're talking guitars and life. Well, my friends, as the cup says, I can't explain it, but I'm probably not going to, Jack. Oh, hey guys, man, it's time to set this guitar up, quit playing around. Jack, I do have my copacetic Oreo Christmas cookies with the red filling. I love a good cookie, Jack. You know that I do if you hang on the channel. Hey, if this is your first time hanging out with us, welcome to the party, pal. Little Christmas humor. Let me pause for the coffee and a cookie. We'll get it to setting this guitar up. Well, as it would appear, Santa Claus ate the cookies. Let me get my napkin out the way, Jack. Come on, Saint Nick. How you gonna just eat the cookies, Jack? Alright guys, well it's time to set this guitar up. Alright my friends, we have tuned the guitar. The guitar has the appropriate neck relief that I'm looking for. We have set our action. I did copacetically adjust our saddle height, bringing my string action where I like it. I also replaced all of the 10 mil saddle set screws with 6 mil saddle set screws. So in the playing experience, there's nothing getting in the way, Jack. All right, T-R-A-I, intonation. So I have also intonated the guitar, but I'm just going to mention what I did. Guys, we've got videos on the channel that go through all of this. I just want to describe it for those of you who may be new to all this, those who can do this in your sleep. Your hands tied behind your back, knee deep in a swimming pool, bear with the remedial scenario. And if I get anything wrong, put it in the comments, Jack. All right, my friends. So in intonation, what you want the same pitch, the same tunage. If you play your open string according to your tuner and you get an E, when you fret the 12th fret, you should get an E, and it should not be sharp, and it should not be flat. It should be true, okay? If your fretted 12th note is sharp, you need to move that saddle toward the bridge. If your fretted 12th fret note is flat, you need to go toward the nut. Talking about where the saddle goes, okay? If it's sharp, you go this way. If it's flat, you go that way. All right, so I have set the guitar up in that way. T-R-A-I, intonation. And this guitar is perfectly intonated, man. All right, so now we're going to do nut. The N in train is for nut. Well, all right, my friends, the N in train stands for nut. I have replaced the plastic nut that was stock, and I put in a white Guyker bone nut. I did that for a couple of reasons. One reason is because I did want this guitar to have just a little bit of Uncle Ted magic to it, Jig. And in less heroic rationale, yeah, I cut the plastic nut too low on the high E string, and I had to chunk it. So guys, when I give you this caution, please know that I'm not just blowing smoke, as it were. If you cut your nut slots too low, bad things happen. Your open E string will have buzz because it will rattle against that first fret. Now, if I wanted to, I could have saved that plastic nut by doing a little bit of CA glue and baking soda. There's all kind of home remedies for filling in a nut slot. However, I didn't want to do that. I decided at the end of the day I might as well put a bone nut, which was my heart to do that anyway, Jack. And since I messed up the plastic, we're in for the run. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the string action at the first fret to a reasonable height. So you could take something like a Music Nomad nut height gauge. It has different gauges in it. That's why they call it a gauge. You could find the one for the guitar, my friends. You certainly could. And the thing I love about these Music Nomad tools, man, is that they have directions, so you can't really do it wrong unless you're just not willing to read the directions, which I may have been accused of a time or two in my life. So, the way this works according to the directions is you insert the appropriate gauge between that string and the first fret. This should slightly have some kind of rub to it, okay? This does not. I can get that under there all day long, okay? I can even get it in there all day long, even over here on the treble side. So all of these nut slots have to come down a little bit. So I'm going to employ my Music Nomad diamond files, which again I just destroyed a plastic nut with because I was not paying attention. By the time I got to the end, I was moving a little too quickly, my friends. So take your time, be patient, and when you mess up the way I just did, give yourself grace, my friends. So the way these files work, guys, these are fairly expensive files, like $85 for this set. They sell them multiple sets with multiple gauges. Okay, this is 10 through 42. They have 46 through whatever. You know, you can probably get them any variation you want. I think J-Man just completed the trifecta of, he's got all of them right now. Of course, that cat works on more guitars than I do, Jake. All right, so the way this works is that you would put a file. Again, you can do your Music Nomad file like that. You could use a guitar string for this with a little bit of patience and some tenacity. The next time you change your strings, you're going to end up with a little bit that you're going to have to clip off. Save those, label them if you have to, and then you can use those as a file. Okay, you can get these files, cheap Amazon files, something like that. Guys, the main thing, as I said, learn from my mistakes, please. And a lot of people have made this mistake. It's not like I'm the first one to ever cut a nut slot too deep. So what I like about this, it does have a safe edge on it. And so generally speaking, that helps me when I pay attention to it and I don't get overly aggressive. So the way you do it is you file a little bit and then you measure. Now again, I could use the gauge. I'm eyeballing it. I just want to be able to fret the 3rd fret and have very little movement right there. I do need some movement. If I don't have any movement, I'm going to get the buzzalicious when I play open strings. And we're going to have to replace this nice bone nut with another nice bone nut. Or we'd have to do a home remedy and fill that slot in a little bit. So guys, I'm just going to repeat this process. I'm going to file a little bit. I'm going to measure. I'm going to file a little bit. I'm going to measure. By the way, you always kind of want to blow out the slot because anything that's in that slot will serve as a foundation. All right, guys, let me just handle these up, man. We'll be back.
If it's a day called today, come rain, sleet, or snow, we're talking guitars and life jack. Get your popcorn, a Diet Coke, and come on to the show. Let's go! TED Talks, Guitars and Life.
Well, my friends, this guitar is all set up. We only have one significant challenge after tuning the guitar, setting the relief, getting my action where I like it, perfectly intonating that guitar, and revisiting the nut. I do have one high fret right there, my friends, and it is copacetically bothering the daylights out of me, Jack, and homie don't play that, so we're going to have to deal with some spot leveling of a fret. Guys, I can't thank y'all, man, enough for spending any time at all with me, hanging out, talking about guitars and life. Special shout out to the Jacks, our channel members, for all your love, support, encouragement, and constant edification. Man, oh man, you guys are the best. As always, wherever you are in your guitar journey, man, I pray it's a long, smooth, safe, joy-filled ride for you, Jack. Rock on with your best selves, everybody. Catch you down the road.